Welcome back, everybody. Today I wanted to go ahead and hop into the new event that just came out, the Christmas event. And Christmas Eve is still kind of sticking around. They kind of extended it a little bit. And just kind of go over my thoughts on it here for you, as always, and see if it's worth it for you to go ahead and invest. So I'm going to hop in here for a second and go ahead and kind of show you. Now, a lot of this might seem so, okay, I don't know what that giant question mark is, but it's a new air for me. Anyways, so this is going to look fairly similar, or at least it should. It's going to be pretty much just like the Thanksgiving and Halloween events that have happened in the past. In fact, the day before it launched, when you clicked on it, it still showed the Thanksgiving banner before it switched to Christmas. So, that was pretty interesting for me. Let's see if I can't. Wow, still can't get that to go away. That's interesting. All right, but I digress. So, same concept. You're gonna have two kind of keys for you, basic and advanced. In this case, they're candy canes. You're gonna have two different wheels. A couple thoughts here. One, if you haven't seen my video on the prior event, the Winterfest event, please watch it because I'm gonna reference it quite a bit. And in that, it kind of gives a little breakdown. But there are a key couple differences in both the way to obtain the keys and the value of the keys that really make this one a bit different, okay? And what I mean by that is the wheels themselves. If you look at the advanced wheel, you'll notice that there's actually two slots for advanced currency, okay? And one slot for 15 normal currency or basic currency. Now, the wheel in the Winterfest only had 1 and 1, which made it more difficult to acquire the currency. However, this one is harder to acquire the keys, but theoretically, less keys equals more currency. So it does kind of equal out. And that's what I want to hop into the event here for you. Same concept as the last one here. Has your daily events for you, World of Boss, Arena, top up 1 diamond, spend 1 diamond, the basic ones here for you. And then it goes into spending the candy canes, just like last time. You spend 5, 10, 20 of the basic keys, 30, 50, so on, and the same thing here. You're going to acquire more keys, whether they be basic or advanced. The consumables here for you, not really as great of, I should say, prizes that pertain to the contest as last time. They switched a lot of chess pieces, equipment pieces for set pieces, I believe, or spirit stones, yeah, for which are great, right? Because you need a lot of weapon and spirit and accessory ones, and they're harder to get. So, especially the perfect ones. So these are very valuable. Don't get me wrong. It just doesn't double and triple dip as much as the last one did. And then if you get down to the big ones here, obviously you can acquire some more mythic stones. Hopefully you guys heeded my advice and really took advantage of that last resource event. That was the biggest one I've ever seen, ladies and gentlemen. So it doesn't get any better than that. To be able to acquire 10 of each in one event for only 10,000 resource points is, wow, kudos to you, GT Arcade, because that was a steal. Thank you for that. It was much needed. It definitely spiced up the game in the server, especially with the cross server, quite a bit. But I'll get into this a little bit more. I just kind of want to show you the overall layout here. The top-up events for you are going to kind of the same thing. This is where you're going to kind of the meat and potatoes, what you're going to get. You get some rubies off the beginning here for you. When you get to $50, instead of acquiring keys like last time, you actually acquire physical currency. So it's more tangible. You know exactly what you're going to get for your money. So if you do, say last time you did $50, as I mentioned, or recommended, in 2 increments within the same day, you got a whole lot of keys and you got extra diamonds, right? But there was less chances for those keys to acquire the currency needed for the event. And here it gives it to you straight up plus rubies, okay? And keep in mind, any main prize is going to require, let's just say, roughly 100 advanced currency and 500 basic. So this one is actually harder to acquire the basic currency, in my opinion, than it is to acquire the advanced. Because if you're going to spend the money and resources on this one, you're going to acquire quite a few advanced resources and not so many basic resources, as you kind of see here. I've got 128 and 365, basic. So I actually can't do anything quite yet because I don't have all the basic I need to go ahead and acquire, although I have plenty of the advanced. So don't know what I'm going to get yet, but that's neither here nor there. So my strategy on this one, ladies and gentlemen, a couple things here for you. In the top up or total points, excuse me, is just the extra bonus here for you. There's going to be some extra top up resources you're going to acquire, which will tie in to the overall resource event here, or the resource tycoon, and I will make that in a consecutive episode that will launch just after this, so that will lead into that one as well. But going to be able to acquire as many resources through events as you can is going to be key for that, and there are some substantial prizes in that, but that is a cross-server event, so whomever you are paired up with and your fellow servers for your cross-server world, it could be really easy or it could be quite hard depending on the age of the servers that you're playing against. For this one, kind of getting the meat and potatoes of why yes or no, thumbs up, thumbs down, am I really going to spend time and money on this? If you have the extra capital from Christmas and you don't mind spending a little bit, it is worth it. It's not the best one I've ever seen. It's not the worst. It's kind of dynamic in two ways. If you go ahead and do top up $100, and again, everybody, I'm not condoning, I'm not supporting, I'm not here to market for GT Arcade, okay? This is your own pure entertainment and advancement in the game. If that's something you're comfortable with, that's the threshold for this event. And let me tell you why. So if you're going to do it just like you did in the Winterfest, you're going to want to do it in 2 increments of $50, okay? And if we show you back on the events, if we go to the consumer or the top ups, yes, you'll get the extra rubies, which is great because they come in handy and allow you to enjoy the game and get many more resources over time. However, it's down here at the bottom, just like it was last time, okay? You're going to get 70 hard tangible advanced currency and 100 hard tangible advanced currency for the event. Now, with that being said, that's all fine and great, right? But you're still going to need 400 extra normal currency to be able to acquire any of those prizes. You're like, Rob, what are you doing? Why are you telling me to go ahead and invest? That's not guaranteed anything, right? And you're absolutely correct. That is really not a guaranteed, going ahead and get that for you. But the way to go ahead and capitalize on this and the way it is you're going to need to reinvest that money you spent, right? So if you go ahead and turn around and buy 10,000 diamonds worth of key or advanced keys, you're going to go ahead and get 50 keys, which will more than likely go ahead and get you the normal currency you need, okay, for the most part. Now, keep in mind, if you do acquire more than 50, don't use them in the day, because back here on the activity tab, you're going to notice as you use these, you're going to acquire them back, right? So I have a few more to get today, but you're going to have the 1 here for using 1, right? 2 here for using 5, 2 here for using 10, so on and so forth, which is going to add up here for you. And if I just do the quick math, you got 5, 8, 13, 18, 28 keys, right? So if you use 128, but I say recommended 15 to go ahead and get the extra 8 there for you. I don't think the extra 50 is really worth it, because if you do it the other day and spend the other 50, you're going to get 8. Either way you can. I guess it is worth it in this instance. You get 2 extra keys. But for me, I like to spread my fun out over a couple days. And then, of course, the basic keys. Maybe that's why I say putting on pause might be better, because you can only cap out at 50 basic keys that you can use to try to grab some more of that basic currency for you as well. The high-end consumables here, between the chest pieces, I always call them chest pieces, chest fragment pieces, and the extra enhanced stones here for you. Yeah, great. I'm still blessed, I should say, to have enough mythic stones that I don't really have to worry about that at this point. So I was happy just grabbing, some extra, spirit stones, because that's frankly what I need to continue increasing my mythical armor and weapons and accessories for me. As far as the top up, yes, you're going to get that. We already spoke about that. And then the extras here, little perks and bonuses, but this is, we're going to acquire the other capital, okay, for the contest. So not much, 20 here, right? It adds up 40, 60, 110 here. And then you're going to grab, another 160 from that. So you're at 260 basic currency. And then you're going to get 110, 110 advanced and 260 basic currency just from spending the money. Okay. Now, if you can reinvest that in the 50 keys and use them on the advanced wheels, not only will you acquire 8 more keys to roll some more, but the chances are you're going to start accumulating that. And I do that in sets of 10. I find it less tedious. And I think really I haven't found any odds or play to wait 30 seconds or 45 seconds or roll now, roll one every hour. That's made a huge difference in these. So I just do it all at once, mainly because I can't contain my excitement most of the time. But the shop here is pretty substantial, very similar to the way it was last time. You're going to have these essences for the Elysians and Sprites are going to be, and mounts are going to be the most number one prizes here for you, like it was last time. So with that being said, if you were able to purchase, half of an Elysian or Sprite or mount last time, this is a great way to capitalize and get that the rest of the pieces there for you. And then you're going to have your enhancing pieces for those mounts or Elysians or Sprites that you just acquired. And of course, if you want to continue to get Mythic Stones. Now, they just brought back Divine Equipment pretty hard. Personally, I still don't think it's a tangible, craftable resource just because of the amount of money and resources it takes to continue to grow them. Now, Endgame, if you're all at 70 million BR and you're on a server and it's the only way you can go higher because you all have level 13 mythic armor and you're all level 500 or 1,000 technically, then great, fantastic, work on that. But, starting at 6 and going to 7, for the numbers for you, a level 9 non-mythic 3-star legendary level 9 is stronger, or is pretty much the same thing as a Celestial level 6. Okay, so to go to 7, I mean, if you're equipping a mythical level 9, level 7 Celestial is the same thing. So it's like, why do I do that when it's so much easier to go ahead and craft a Celestial or a mythic level 10, so on and so forth, until it gets to that extreme point, because you need 2 of the prior Celestial pieces, meaning you need 2 Celestial staffs plus the stones to go ahead and craft a level 7, and it's just beyond tedious. Besides spending tons of money to get them, the only other way, as I've mentioned, is going to be in the Guild League, excuse me. So with that being said, I do want to check here. Yeah, they kind of nerfed that. They did make the mistake one time of including a bunch of rubies and other things in these fresh chest fragments for the relics, so I just want to always check those. And the resource is kind of just an afterthought. Grab whatever points you have left, which makes sense to you. So with that being said, you'll have 110, right, advanced, 260 basic, and then you'll roll for the rest. If you spend your money that you just dumped $100 into back and going to the store and purchasing at the diamond store all the way bottom and purchasing advanced keys, then you're going to be able to get the rest of the capital you need to acquire at least one of those large prizes. Now here's the kicker. $100, not that great of a deal, okay? But because they continue the Christmas Eve shop, this is where it gets interesting, because just from topping up on the feast, if you look down at the bottom here, I mean, I won't spare you the adding all these up, but not only do you get the feathering stones from doing so, which is pretty rare, and you get quite a few of them, and the consumables, right, because you're going to be using those diamonds to go ahead and spend, you get in roughly another 26,000. I had under 1,000 points before I did that today, so I gotta think it's over 26,000 or just shy of, okay? And what that really translates to is you get a whole nother one, 200 piece for 200 of these tokens or tickets or whatever you want to call them for, one piece of these, you need 100 pieces of these, boom, that's 20,000. Okay. So I could get any one of these I wanted, plus the one from the other store. So now I have 2 Elite Sprite mounts or Elysians for that $100. So, again, not cheap. I get that, but it is one that is by far the cheapest you're going to get. Try to keep in mind, a month ago, the only way to get one of these guys, they had them soloed out in events, meaning it was the only thing you could acquire, and the whole event was based around it. And it took $300 to be able to go ahead and acquire these. So the fact that you can get them for $50 is a steal, and they really do help your game. Not necessarily overall BR isn't going to jump 5 million, but the effects they have, the stackability, the binding or bonding, for sprites, all these different things come into play and over time multiply. All right. So it does draw huge dividends in the end. So long story short, I give this one a thumbs up. Obviously, you saw I personally invested in it. With that, being said, strategy, $100, 2 increments of 50, has to be the same day. Use all those diamonds to go reinvest and go to the diamond store and buy 50 keys with them. Okay, make sure they're the advanced keys. Go ahead and respin. I would personally wait till the end of the event to see through the daily quests and everything else how many actual currencies I acquire. Purchase whatever you would like, and then don't forget you have 2 days after today to go ahead and get the rest through the Christmas Eve shop. Okay, so you'll acquire 2 of them. Grab yourself a sprite or a mount, a legion and a sprite, 2 mounts, whatever. Okay, but it is a very tangible event. It is very linear. There's not a whole lot of surprises in this one. You don't have to get as lucky spinning as you did in the Winterfest to maybe capitalize on this one. This is a straight shot, ladies and gentlemen. If you spend 100, you will get 2 of these. Okay. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.